you could describe elasticity with one single word. You know, like price change,
Elastic.
rate move,
Elastic.
supply shift,
Elastic.
how demand shift with price, demand curve.
Elastic.
Oh my god, wait, oh my god, this thing is free!
Elastic.
Deserve pa rin ako karon kay nga pasar mo ko tong exam na ko. Deserve ba kong malit ani?
Dili sa uy na para makay groceries paliton mas need man to.
Mao ka. Kana, anya na lang tara.
Kuha to mo itlog. Hala, ning sobra na mata sa tong budget.
Pira na kay pa need man nato ni pang 2 weeks na sad ni na sudan. Sige, last book. Why is this happening?
Perfectly elastic is an extreme case of elasticity. This means that even the smallest change in price causes an extremely large, almost unlimited change in the quantity demanded or supplied. In this situation, buyers or sellers will only accept one specific price, and if the price changes even a little, the quantity will change dramatically. Perfectly elastic demand appears as a horizontal line on the graph. This means that consumers will only buy the product at one specific price. If the price increases even slightly, demand drops to zero. A common example is a farmer selling wheat in a large competitive market, where the seller must accept the market price. Now, what is elastic? When demand or supply is elastic, it means that quantity responds strongly to changes in price. If the price increases or decreases, the quantity demanded or supplied changes by a larger percentage. This usually happens with goods that have many alternatives or substitutes, because people can easily switch to something else. Elastic demand is represented by a flat or shallow curve. This shows that consumers are very sensitive to price changes, so a small increase in price leads to a large drop in quantity demanded. An example would be luxury goods or products with many substitutes, such as a specific brand of cereal. Unit elastic or unitary elasticity. Unit elastic occurs when the percentage change in price is exactly equal to the percentage change in quantity. This means that responsiveness between price and quantity is perfectly balanced, and economists say that the elasticity value is equal to 1. Unit elastic demand appears as a moderately sloped curve on the graph. This means that the percentage change in price is exactly equal to the percentage change in quantity demanded. For example, if the price increases by 22%, the quantity demanded also decreases by 22%, showing a perfectly balanced response. Perfect inelastic or zero elasticity. Perfectly inelastic is the opposite extreme of perfect elasticity. In this case, no matter how much the price changes, the quantity demanded or supplied doesn't change at all. People will continue buying or supplying the same amount regardless of the price. On the graph, perfectly inelastic demand appears as a vertical line. This means that quantity does not change even if the price changes. People will buy the same amount no matter what the price is. A common example is life-saving medicine, because people need it regardless of the price. So what is inelastic? Inelastic demand or supply means that quantity changes only slightly when the price changes. In other words, buyers or sellers do not respond strongly to price changes, so the percentage change in quantity is smaller than the percentage change in price. Inelastic demand is shown as a very steep curve. This means that price changes a lot, but the quantity demanded only changes a little. Consumers still buy the product even when the price increases. Examples of this are gasoline or electricity, since people depend on them in everyday life.
Price elasticity of demand is influenced by several determinants. First, availability of close substitutes. When a product has many alternatives, consumers can easily switch, making demand more elastic. Second, necessities versus luxuries. Necessities like basic food tend to have an elastic demand because people need them. Luxuries, on the other hand, have elastic demand because people choose not to buy them. Third, definition of the market. The more specific the market is defined, the more elastic the demand becomes because more substitutes are available. Lastly, time horizon. Demand tends to become more elastic over time since consumers have more time to adjust their purchasing behavior.
Now that we've discussed about the price elasticity of demand, we've also talked about its determinants and its types. Let's now talk about the midpoint formula. Because we can't keep looking in the past, but we can't also see the future. So why not focus on the present? Let's talk about how the midpoint formula works.
The midpoint formula is a method used to calculate the price elasticity of demand between 2 points. It uses the average or the midpoint of the old and the new values so the percentage change is the same no matter which direction you calculate. It is seen in this formula that elasticity is equal to the subtraction of the initial quantity and the new quantity divided by the quantity's average. Then you proceed to subtracting the initial price to the new price, then dividing to the average price, therefore dividing both the quantity percentage and the price percentage to get elasticity.
So let us now go into revenue. So what is revenue? The revenue is the total amount paid by buyers or the raw total income received by sellers of a good. So this is the formula for revenue. It is equals to price multiplied by quantity sold. So when the price changes, the quantity also changes, and this affects the total revenue. So how does total revenue change as one moves along the demand curve? The answer depends on the price elasticity of demand. So if demand is elastic, quantity demanded changes significantly with price changes. So if the price decreases, there's a large increase in quantity demanded leading to total revenue or increasing of total revenue. If prices are raised, there is a sharp drop in quantity demanded and it will lead to the decrease in total revenue. So for example, with concert tickets, a band raises ticket prices from 1,000 to 1,200 pesos, but attendance drops sharply. So when the price raises, the revenue decreases as fewer people buy tickets. Next, when the demand is inelastic, quantity demanded changes little with price changes. So price and total revenue move in the same direction. So if the price increases, there's a small decrease in quantity demanded leading to a increase in the total revenue. So if the price decreases, there's only a small increase in demand leading to decreasing also of the total revenue. So for example, in gasoline prices, so when prices rise, drivers still need fuel for commuting or for their vehicles. So in this situation, when the price rises, the revenue also increase, or when the revenue also increases because the demand is necessity driven. And lastly, the unitary elastic demand or the unit elastic demand, the percentage change in quantity equals percentage change in price. So in here, the revenue stays constant regardless of price changes. So for example, a cinema charges 200 pesos per ticket and sells 1,000 tickets, earning 200,000 pesos in revenue. The cinema decides to lower the price to 180 pesos per ticket, a 10% decrease. So as a result, ticket sales rise to 1,111 tickets, an 11.1% decrease. So the percentage change in quantity demanded exactly offsets the percentage change in price.